All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is my custom D&D campaign set in my screwed up little world I created, and these are the players that just decided to play in it, generally by burning things. Um, so, uh, to kind of bring us back into the world, recently the group had ousted a character that just called himself the Dark Lord, who is a very old vampire with some interesting abilities from a secret hideout he had, and rescued the patron of two of the players. After discovering all the weird stuff that was happening there, they decided to leave and find out where they are. They realized that they were in Fenrish, relatively close-ish to the border to Sanguinius and near the west coast, and decided to head for the nearest major city, which in Fenrish are the arenas. On their way there, they stopped at kind of a hunting camp that was not in use, and when they woke up, they found coral everywhere. Going to discover exactly what was going on, they found another rift or portal to a different plane there that was changing the entire area. After clearing out a few monsters, they found the source of it was apparently this strange magical cage that was housing some sort of modified lycanthrope. As the lycanthrope attempted to attack them, the ruler of Fenrish and his party of adventurers called the Blood Pack came in, killed the werewolf, and set off a chain reaction that destroyed the local area. The most of the group were able to get away, but Henri was unfortunately consumed by the explosion. Shortly after it happened, Vala got a message from Celeste, her patron, asking them to return because something had happened. On their way back, Argenta felt a strange calling from a direction north of them. They went to investigate and found a T-Rex and a strange blue creature with a shockingly large command of magic. As they got to know this creature a little bit more after taking down the T-Rex, that is where we are going to pick it up for today. So it's been a little bit. Remind me, you guys had just finished taking down the T-Rex and were kind of chatting a little bit, correct?
I believe Argenta had salvaged some T-Rex leather, and then they were using the meat. I thought
Y-
we were spending like a day or something.
yes, you guys were. Argento was curing the hide as the first step into turning it into leather. And the rest of you guys were kind of mingling around for the past day-ish.
Yes, I was keeping an eye on our new friend to make sure he didn't wander off, as he already did, and retrieved a flower of questionable origin.
I know it's a flower. I mean. So, with that, Argenta, as you wake up the next morning, you've taken everything off the racks, the makeshift racks you've made to cure it as much as you can in the wilderness. Again, you'll need a full access to like a tannery to complete it, but it's a process you're familiar with.
All right.
And it's now preserved. So you pack that up. Anything else you guys want to do, or any conversations you want to have over the past day, before you get moving again?
I'm just trying to talk with our new friend, try to see if there's any clues, and see, what he remembers. It kind of sounds like there's not much, so I'm just like trying to point out dangerous things and try to keep him on a short leash. Which is just, it feels so wrong. It's the blind literally leading the blind.
Yeah. This is the point, though. If you get in trouble, we only have to go into one spot, not two.
Hey,
that's right.
It's the buddy system, all right? You gotta have two troublemakers.
Everyone else is like, this is my buddy. This is my buddy, Vala, and it's just like, my buddy may be partially dead. Is that okay? So over breakfast, you guys start packing the things up. As far as we will call you nameless until you either remember or receive a new name. As far as you're concerned, nameless. Again, your memory goes back a few days, and majority of that was running from that T-Rex and finding food. As you do more things, you instinctively find that you do know things. Like you instinctively speak common. You instinctively know how to do basic things like, use utensils, the basics of cooking. You don't know why you know these things. You just will do it without thinking and then realize. But beyond that, though, you've gotten nothing other than there's these other people around you that seem to be interested in you.
Oh yeah, for Commander's sake, my character is literally just has a quarterstaff and a loincloth like Tarzan. That's it. Just so you know.
Nice. Good to know.
I'm Blue Tarzan with a staff.
Wait a minute.
I shall call you Snurf.
So these being the first creatures that don't try to eat me, I'm just sticking by them.
Okay. So as you guys pack up everything and you're getting ready to move, is there any preparation you want to make before heading off again? You're still about 4 days from Celeste's lair.
Nothing in particular for me. don't think so.
All right. So as you guys pack up everything, you start going, finding your way back to Celeste Lair, especially since you're coming from a different direction than you left, is going to be slightly more difficult than normal. So whomever's leading the party, I need a survival check.
Sure. Survival, right?
Yep.
Open the character sheet, skills. That's gonna be a 15.
All right. So over the next few days, as you guys go through the tangled underbrush and the swampy areas and the drier areas, you do meet some other dangerous creatures out here. Things like crocodiles and wolves, but you're able to avoid them in your attempts to reach Celeste's lair as quickly as possible. On the eve of the second night, you guys can see a few miles away the kind of rocky area that hides the entrance to Celeste's lair. As you kind of take a short break for everyone to catch their breath, you notice that the sun has disappeared below the horizon about an hour before, and you have a good 2 to 3 hours more journey if you want to get to the lair. So you can either camp now and make the rest of the journey in the sunlight, or you can try to go through the area in the middle of the night and end up there like 2 to 3 in the morning ish.
You want to push on or sleep?
I mean,
I heard push on and I just start walking.
wait. I mean, I part of me wants to get to Celeste as quickly as possible. Another part of me does not want to be bit again by a werewolf.
What's that?
That worked out so well last time.
What's a werewolf?
Sharp, pointy teeth, fur. Actually, I will use Mask of Many Faces to turn myself into a small werewolf.
As you do, you guys hear in the distance, "Oh!"
I immediately cast Armor of Shadows on myself to bump my AC back up.
So let me get this straight. Those two, and I'll point to Lillian and Commander, they're vampires. You're a werewolf. And Mean Lady is just mean.
Well, Mean Lady is mean. They're not where. I was almost a werewolf. It's complicated.
So, you said that, and I'll point to Lillian. This one's a vampire, but not. And since they're the same type of species, that must make him a vampire, right?
No. None of us are vampires or werewolves.
Anymore.
I mean, really? I was on my way to becoming, but I'll be quiet now.
So I point at Lillian and Commander. They're humans.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh.
We're probably gonna want to get moving.
Sound friendly.
They are not.
No.
I mean, that big thing that we were fighting, that thing was friendly for a little bit. And then it started chasing me. It was fun at first.
I don't think that word means what you think it means. Argenta, you're the expert on this area. Should we stay or should we go?
That
Stay or should I go now?
that howl, does it sound like it's in front of us? Is it kind of like coming towards us, or?
Make me a survival check.
I would like to use my "should we stay or should we go now" as inspiration.
Right.
Alright. What's your inspiration die?
It is a D8.
Oh, okay, that's higher than I thought. Okay, so that's gonna be 26.
So, kind of stopping and listening, you know, there's generally two reasons why a wolf or a werewolf will howl. One is just communication in general, where if they're two packs of wolves or lycanthropes, they will howl to kind of declare their presence. And if they are like two parts of the same pack, they'll do that to kind of coordinate. The other reason is if they're actively hunting something and they've picked up a scent to kind of let everyone else in the pack know. With that knowledge, hearing and kind of listening for it, you're noticing the howls are coming. Thus far, there's been about 4 howls. Each one has come from a different direction from where you are.
Kind of circling us.
You think they were 4 different howls, not the same creature for 4 times. So, best guess with a 26, there are multiple portions of a pack that are all around you currently.
Yeah. If we stay here, they could converge on us. If we move, they could potentially chase us. But that's at least they'll be coming from not encircling us, is what I mean.
You just heard 2 more in another 2 places, and again with the 26 survival, that is bizarre. A pack of wolves is generally maybe half a dozen wolves, and the lycanthropes tend to travel similarly between like 3 to 6. You've never heard of a pack scattering completely and then every single member howling to keep in contact. Generally, they'll split into maybe 2 or the 3 groups to search for prey at most. So 6 of them does not fill you with courage.
I think we should get to Celeste.
Agreed.
I am going to cast Mage Armor while I have a chance.
And now, in addition to your loincloth, there's transparent, randomly placed pieces of armor.
So let's keep going.
I would like to drop my mask of many faces so I no longer look like a werewolf.
All right. So, if you guys want to move forward,
I am not used to this amount of spell slots. Holy crap.
go ahead and it's a little easier to see. Go ahead and place your characters anywhere on the map and near each other. The south is the direction you're going to be going, and I just need you guys to set up an order that you are traveling in. Again, south is the front, north is the back.
Oh, I guess I'm using that one because I forgot to put a new one in. So pretend that's a blue person. I would probably be near Vala because Vala is the only one who isn't mean to me.
Well, hey, out of all of us, you have murdered the least amount of innocent bystanders.
That you know of.
That's, at this point, that's all I can ask
Yeah.
for.
Amnesia, I don't know.
That's presumptuous. You know that?
That's true. That's true.
So right now, I'm seeing two ranks, 3 people in the front, 2 in the back.
Yeah, is this? I think I'm next to Commander. That works too.
All right, so
Oh, is that you up there? Or the little pink?
Yeah, I'm using Henri's mini, I guess, because I didn't think about it.
Oh. That, yes.
so who's in the front here?
Commander, by the looks of it.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's me.
Commander, with you being in the front, you're going to be leading this group. I need a survival check for first of all.
Okay. Okay. 13.
13. All right, so Commander, pulling out. Remind me. Your
Fury.
Fury. Pulling out Fury starts kind of leading the way. As you're trying to find your way in, you very quickly go off of the hill you were on and into a pretty heavily wooded area with spots of very marshy water and little sandbars. And you as soon as you dip into the wooded area, you can no longer see the small rock formations that mark Celeste's cave, and you have to kind of go off of memory and just instinct. And as you're kind of going through this area, the trees all look kind of the same. As you try and go in the direction you want, you keep running into obstacles that force you to kind of go around. There'll be a really large tree with briars all around it that you don't want to try and go through. So you go to the east a little bit, and then this one will have a lot of murky, dark water in almost a river that you think would be better to avoid. So you go to this is south a little bit, and after the first 10 minutes of travel, you're not entirely sure how much closer or further you are from Celeste's. While this is happening, I'm gonna have who's in the back here.
Me.
I'm gonna have you roll me a perception check. And it is very dark here, so do you have the dark vision?
Nope.
So that'll be a disadvantage.
Oh
Should
yes.
I roll disadvantage, Jody?
Going for forward for tracking, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot my perception's that low. That's a -1.
It's Grog.
Starting off strong.
So you're still really thrilled with the fact none of these guys have tried to eat you.
Weird.
So beyond that, you do not notice the movement behind you as the things start getting closer. Yep.
Sorry, could I notice him being a little spacey or no?
Well, that's what we're gonna ask you. So those three in the middle, having to follow the commander as he blindly leads you everywhere, and keep an eye on Nameless to ensure he doesn't fall behind, has kind of taxed your perceptions somewhat. So while all this is happening, you can try to just focus on those two things, or you can try one other thing, like looking for pursuers, maybe attempting to help track or something, preparing traps to slow down pursuers, whatever you can think of. So I will start with our agenda.
I actually have dark vision, so anytime the commander is about to like walk into something, I'm just gonna like grab his shoulder and manhandle him in the right direction.
I'll turn to our jet to be like, "Why aren't you leading?"
All right, so that's your turn, and it does mean that Commander doesn't get put in a bad place in this next encounter. Lillian.
I'm going for
Okay. Again, since you're also having to follow Commander and all that other stuff, make me a perception check with disadvantage.
Damn. I was 23 on my other one.
So, as everyone else is like trying to keep Commander from, falling all over himself, or making sure Nameless there doesn't wander off to smell a poisonous flower, you've kind of mastered multitasking to the point where you're like, yeah. Oh, look, but bad things are right behind you guys. And as you look around more, there's movement behind you, which is far enough back that you can't make out shapes. You can just tell there's movement that's not wind. But as you look around, there's stuff to the south, there's stuff to the north, there's stuff to the east. The only direction you're not seeing movement right now is to the east, which is technically the direction you're going. Then Vala.
Um. Yes, I will assist, I guess, with trying to find the way to Celeste.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me. Let's do a straight wisdom check. Seems you're going, but basically on instinct and feeling of where she is.
Yeah, that's a 3.
Well, you know she's somewhere.
I think she's on this plane of existence. I mean, she can't leave this plane of... Can she leave this plane of existence? Oh, God. Maybe she left this plane of existence to get Henri. Maybe Henri will be... No, Henri's not. Focus, Vala. Focus.
Are we there yet?
And as this is all happening, Lillian's really high perception roll means none of these are going to be made at advantage. As you guys are going, suddenly movement increases significantly, and things start jumping out of the woods towards you. We will start with Commander. Go ahead and make me a dex save.
Okay. What is that number? Oh, that's what that is. Okay. 10.
All right, as you're climbing through and you're going, Fallow or Argento, why do you keep holding me? Suddenly, something very large and furry jumps out of the woods and clamps down on your shoulder.
Wow.
Doing 19 points of piercing damage as it bites you. But as quickly as it sinks its teeth into you, it hits the ground and dives off into the woods again before you can even react.
Right. Hey, real quick. Have we had a long rest, Jody?
Yes.
Okay, so
Argenta took a whole day to prepare the armor, leather.
Gotcha. Thank you. You said 19?
No, 19.
No, 19.
We'll go Argenta. Give me a dex save.
Sure. It's going to be 16.
All right. As you're sitting there, you watch something take a chunk out of Commander, then disappear. You hear some rustling behind you, and you just kind of lean back as another creature dives out of the woods, just barely catching you with its claws as it goes straight over you and then goes back into the underbrush. You take only 8 slashing damage. Vala?
Yes.
Dex save, please.
14.
All right. Another creature comes out and gets you right on the hamstring as it just sinks its teeth into you. You take 23 piercing damage, and again, disappears almost instantly. Lillian?
Seriously, good here.
Another creature comes out, and you feel claws rake at your lower back as it goes through. You take 24 slashing damage. And then Nameless.
I'm going to use Tides of Chaos so I have advantage.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. 20, not natural.
Yeah, you're sitting there and you watch these creatures almost simultaneously attack all your friends. And as you see the last one go past Liliane, you suddenly feel a very familiar feeling. Same kind of feeling you felt right before the T-Rex took its first bite at you, and you immediately just drop to the ground prone as this much larger than you remember furry creatures being. Creature dives over with razor sharp claws, hits the ground, and runs off, missing you completely.
Friends.
With that, Argenta, you know something is definitely up. Liliane, you would probably be aware of this too. This isn't how wolf packs hunt. And flying wolves is a new experience for you all. Something is definitely different happening right now. Knowing that, what do you all want to do?
Since it doesn't matter anymore, I'm going to put light on my top of my staff so at least I can see.
All right. As you light up the area directly around you, you suddenly see light reflect off of what looks like the dozens of pairs of eyes all around you. But as you look to where you saw the light flash, there's nothing there except darkness. And you keep looking around, and every so often you'll see eyes flash from the reflected light, but just as quickly as they do, they vanish again. Anyone else?
I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. Val blinks out of existence.
Hey Val, should we? Val?
I sneak up to the other side of Commander and go, "I'm right here," and then I back away.
I shoot at that voice. I'm joking. I don't shoot at the voice.
What do the rest of you guys want to do? Do you want to hunker down and get ready for an attack? Do you want to push forward at a faster speed? What are you thinking?
Oh, the eyes are ahead of us.
The eyes are everywhere. Everywhere.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what direction you look at now, because there's a constant sort of light. You will eventually see, if you've ever shined light into like a raccoon's eyes or something like that at night, where they just kind of flash. That's what you see, but they only last a few seconds and then they're gone. They don't like blink out or run away. They're just not there anymore.
I couldn't strawberry frozen out of my crimson light.
All right. So Liliane pulls her sword out as she does. Blood coats it and then starts glowing as bright as your staff, Nameless. And a similar effect happens when your sword erupts as well, where you start seeing more kind of flashes of eyes everywhere.
We need to move forward in a group, I think.
Yeah.
It's distracted by the shiny eyes everywhere.
So, hunker down and defend. Move forward regular pace. Move forward fast.
I mean, I'll defer to the group because I don't think you want someone with my intelligence making the decision.
Oh no. May I ask what your intelligence is?
It's a negative. I have 3 negative stats. Have fun.
Oh no. What did you? Oh no.
I rolled amazing for 2 rolls. Okay, 2 rolls.
Oh jeez.
Why am I
Which
passing?
might explain
Okay.
why the amnesia not only infects things you would suspect, like memories and of events, but also forgetting names, despite the fact that he speaks perfect common.
Oh boy. All right, let's get moving.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like holding my shield out as I'm gonna take over the charge to Celeste's place.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to be alone in the front, or is anyone going to go with you?
I'll go
with
with
Magenta.
Magenta.
Sorry, too many people were. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So from the people in the front, I need survival checks with the disadvantage since you're going super fast.
And Vala's gonna stay in the back.
That'd be. Oh wait, no. I think I actually have proficiency in survival. Believe it or not. Hey, that's plus. Okay, so that's a 10.
That's
Plus 1.
17 for me.
All right. So our Genta, as you're pushing forward and you're looking for signs and just the things that lead you where you want, you're kind of being held back as Nameless will go, no, wait, over here, and will take you to a pool of water that you can't cross. Or you go, oh wait, over here, and it'll take you to a kind of weird-looking tree that kind of looks like a dog from certain angles.
It's really cool.
With that, you guys all hear the movement increasing, and I need the dex saves from everybody with disadvantage since you were pushing yourselves to move faster.
Even those of us that are invisible?
Good question. What is your spell save DC?
That would be 17.
Okay. You do not currently on this turn have to.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Let's start with Argenta just for ease.
16.
Okay. Lillian? Muted?
Oh. What again?
Dex save.
7.
Okay. Nameless?
With disadvantage, it's 17 because I used my reaction and spent 2 sorcery points for bad luck, so I can add a d4.
Damn. Commander?
17 as well.
All right. So, Nameless and Commander.
Oh boy.
You take 6 damage. Everyone else takes the 13 damage except Vala. As again, these creatures just start flying out of the woods, slashing at you, and then departing before you can realize what they are, except for Vala. Vala, as you're going, you kind of keep moving around to take advantage of your visibility, and you step out of an area right before all 5 of these wolf creatures attack simultaneously, and one of them attacks the exact spot you were standing moments before. And as it attacks, since it's not attacking you, and you're not actively being attacked, you actually get a look at this creature, and it's moving so fast that it seems like a blur. But one thing you notice now that you can see it, there's no back half of these wolves. They just kind of fade into the darkness.
Okay. We'll catch up to the others and just kind of say, guys, I don't know where the back half of these wolves is. These are weird wolves. Weird werewolves. WWW. www.wtf.com.
Is that a
/or.
Take your inspiration from Vala.
So Jody,
Yeah.
I just reread my bend luck. It says when another creature you can see, so I don't think I can apply the bend luck to myself.
Cool. Going forward, we will
So-
deal with that. As a reaction to using it incorrectly, how about you give me a percentile roll?
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Waiting for the fireballs. This is centered on yourself.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's
No.
Am I? Is this a
No.
psychic? Should I be buying a lottery ticket?
So someone want to read 7 on the Wild Magic Surge? It says fire.
You cast fireball at 30 level. Oh my freaking god, Jody. Are you serious?
I'll be back, guys. I gotta go buy a ticket.
Oh, let me get more.
Oh, this is so
All right, what's your
bad,
spell save?
right?
15.
All right,
Every-
DC 16, the deck save, everybody.
17.
70s, sorry. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Let me make sure it says 3rd level. Yeah, okay.
No, it's 3rd level, yeah.
I need you to roll it at the 19th level. But spells only go up to the 9. Just multiply that by 10.
Oh god. It's like
Are-
that meme of the truck that spilled all the dice and it's like 200,000 damage.
What'd you do for damage?
Well, let's just say I hope I roll this well against enemies. 32.
Oh
All right.
god.
So anyone that got 16 or lower, it's the 32 for fire damage. This is 17 or higher. It is 16.
Guys, I have a confession. I made this character to TPK. Have fun.
If I can't have my character, none of you will.
I
What
definitely.
is there about shooting this new character?
For the record, just because I'm proud of it, I rolled a 25 on my saving throw.
Damn.
Dang.
Whoa.
Does
So
mean I get
the
chaos back? No, I didn't cast a spell. Never mind.
the last thing, Lillian, since you have your weapon out, and it is casting light, as you get attacked, you're welcome to try an opportunity attack against this creature, but it'll be made with disadvantage.
No 10.
As you take a swing, just misses completely. So, Ed, go ahead.
I assume I need to make a Constitution saving throw to maintain my concentration on my invisibility.
After that fireball, yuppers.
Yeah, nat 1. So,
Foomp. Vala's back, everybody. See, fire is the answer to everything.
just,
As the fireball erupts and Vala goes back, little fires start all around you guys, and your sphere of light that you can see in expands as more fires go. And you guys watch as the shadows retreat from the light. So do the eyes that keep flickering in the darkness.
I will pull out my sword and cast daylight on it.
Okay. I don't believe the daylight targets an object. Does it? I thought it targeted a point.
If you choose a point on an object you are holding or one that isn't being worn or carried, the light shines from the object with and moves with it.
Ooh, gotcha. How big an area is that?
60-foot radius sphere of light spreads out from a point you choose. The sphere is bright light and sheds dim light for an additional 60 feet.
All right. So you guys watch as Vala goes, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power! And shoom,
Oh god.
this incredibly bright light starts shining from her sword. And you guys, as the light extends very, very rapidly, not only do you see the shadows kind of get pushed back, but you hear an exclamation. The only one of you who would understand it is dead. I was gonna go. Oh wait, you learned.
Thanks for rubbing it in, Toby.
Never mind.
I mean, we think is dead.
I mean, yeah, we think is dead. So yeah, you guys hear this obviously humanoid voice speaking in a language you don't understand. Just from inference, you're relatively certain it had 4 letters in it. But beyond that, though, you've got no idea what it was.
I think I've heard that one before. I think it's good or bad. It depends. Anyways.
Well, of those two, good has 4 letters. The particular word, when translated to common, can mean good things and bad things, depending on the usage.
Yes.
So did I start another forest fire?
The fires themselves are not spreading because the vegetation and everything, because it's a swamp, is very damp and full of water. So you can see, little bits of dry dead grass and stuff like that will catch as well. But there's enough kind of thick vegetation that it doesn't look like the fire's going anywhere.
I'm just
So, like,
theme every session. I'm going to start a fire. It seems.
So, like, on a scale of 1 to Vala, this is like a 3.
More
4.
like a 2.
Okay.
I mean, if the end of this is a scale is Vala, you could call this a 1, because there's not really that much destruction going on. Just a bit lighter than it was before.
Okay.
So, with this newfound information, you can continue pushing forward. You can try to defend yourselves. You can try and learn more about this situation. What do you guys want to do?
I don't know, guys. What do you think? They don't seem to like the light very much.
Yeah.
Well, even with the
keep that up.
light before, they were still diving in and attacking you. You can
Yeah.
just see them.
Keep moving on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, we're the city target otherwise.
All right, the double time, the normal. What are you doing?
I'd say double.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Okay. Again, and Argenta and Nameless is still leading, or no?
Sure.
Where? Yeah. Where are you, Argenta? Which are you in the front?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move up with them too.
I will try to stay in the middle of the group to shroud everyone in the radiant light of Celeste.
Oh boy.
All right. So I need survival checks with the disadvantage from Lillian, Argenta, and Nameless.
Where was that roll last time?
Survival, you said?
Yep.
20, not natural.
Well, I rolled a
Ooh.
25 and then a 14 to 14.
Nice.
See? Quit video, so 5 total.
All right. As you guys are pushing forward, with the three of you all trying to lead, through blind dumb luck, and then Nameless keeps going, oh, this looks good, and kind of dragging you guys, and it seems to be working. But just as quickly, Lillian will kind of move her sword around and go, wait, no, this way, and pull you guys directly into a swampy area with water up to your knees, or directly into a bee ground wasp hive, and you have to kind of run away from it. And Argenta's just kind of in the middle, trying to figure out which ways are good or which ways are bad. You end up making a little bit of progress, but as you start feeling the shadows getting closer, you don't seem to have made any significant distance away from them. The dex saves from everybody.
At disadvantage or advan or
The disadvantage from pushing yourselves.
Really?
12.
So I'll use my ability correctly this time to give someone else a D4.
Ooh. I forgot I have Indomitable now. I don't do that.
So let's say Lillian can add a D4.
2.
There's the rolls I remember. All right, Argenta, what'd you get?
17.
Okay, Vala,
12.
Lillian,
19.
Nameless,
9.
Commander.
T, not natural.
What was it?
20, not natural.
Okay, so you are fine. Vala, what'd you get again?
12.
So Vala and Nameless, you take 11 damage. Lillian and Argenta, you take 5 damage. Because I rolled super high. Funny part is, that was 40 to 10.
So, does it look like, how much further does it seem like till we get to Celeste's?
At this
Cave.
particular moment, because it's so heavily wooded, you're not entirely sure. Each period of travel has been, let's say, for 15 minutes to break it up evenly with hours. So you guys have been traveling. That was your the third move. You've been traveling for 45 minutes, sometimes in the wrong direction, and you guessed that you had a couple hours before you would get there.
Okay. So, guys, I don't think we're going to make it. If we keep running, they're just going to keep hounding us. Unless we can come up, stand and fight.
Yeah, but we don't know how many there are. We don't know.
Right. I mean, if we don't change tactics, I'm down in like another 30 minutes. I don't know about everyone else. So we either need to try to set a trap for them, or figure something out to slow them down, or something.
Oh, it's kind of fun.
If you guys want, you can try and figure out how wolves are flying, or why there are only half wolves. Like there's.
Are we still in this?
Say again?
Are we still in the same spot? How far have we moved on this map?
This map is just for me to get positioning.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Would I know anything about creatures like this?
Yeah,
Heard
me.
anything?
Vala, you could roll a history check if you wanted. Lillian, you could as well, but you'll find out the different information based on your expertise.
Right.
So, as a College of Lore Bard, with a 23 on my history check.
Damn. So you start thinking something about this seems eerily familiar. And as you've been going, like every time it happens, and especially when you saw that it was only part of a wolf, you kept thinking something about this is eerily similar. It's like I've heard this as a story before, and that's what sticks out the most to you about this is this feels like a fairy tale, and not one of those nice fairy tales that you put kids to bed with. One of those fairy tales you tell them so they don't get out of bed.
But they're all cool, brother Grimm.
Yeah. Where Hansel and Gretel didn't get away from the witch. So as you're sitting there, the thinking and trying to remember, it suddenly comes back to you in a memory. One of the ancient kind of myths about vampires that people will still spread as kind of like the folklore and campfire stories is early vampires didn't only have their kind of seduction abilities and their magical abilities. There were actually old myths about them being able to change into beasts like wolves and things like that, and having the ability to control the vicious creatures like wolves and wargs and the things like that.
Okay.
And when you were in the vampire court, being, I can't think of the word now. Wow, the brain just left. Basically, with the vampire courting you, there's the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. There were quite a few times when you two actually just kind of sat down, and as a way to kind of build trust and control simultaneously, he would go, well, what questions do you have? And you asked him specifically, well, can you turn into like wolves or mist or any thing like that? And his response is there's certain mages that are powerful enough to use spells like wind walking and using that to turn into mist. But the ability to transform into creatures is not something you see with vampires. There aren't really the vampire druids. However, there were a few vampires centuries ago that used to feed off of those folklore, and they would use magic, illusion magic combined with other things to mimic the ability to control creatures. The damage these creatures caused was real, but the actual creatures themselves were spellcraft. They were flavor for the spells.
Okay, I'll fill everybody else in on that. This isn't werewolves. This is vampires. Old vampire magic.
And can
Don't
you
ask me how I
dispel
know
it?
that. I heard it somewhere.
Lillian.
I want four. I don't know.
Yeah, you're fairly certain that claws and teeth hurt like a bitch.
Then can you dispel it?
Can I dispel? I could yesterday, but funny story, I can't anymore. I thought I might want to try flying instead.
Well, what have you learned?
I am fickle like the flame.
I'm just pulling out my
He
dagger.
can fly, he can fly, he can fly.
I'm just pulling out my dagger at this point to stab at things that get too close.
Yeah. I just found a better idea.
But wait a minute,
My wife is amazing.
guys. There's not a bunch of creatures for us to fight. There's one. A female vampire that is hunting us using illusion creatures that do damage. All we have to do is find her and kill her.
Yeah, simple, cool.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
What's an illusion?
Can I shoot this guy yet?
You're welcome. However, if I have to make him roll another character, this is going to get old really quick.
I'll just roll 91 and 92 on the wild magic table, and I'll just keep reincarnating. Don't worry.
So what do you guys want to do? Val and Lillian, that kind of research, but basically that was your turn this round. So Argenta, Nameless, and Commander, with this a new set of knowledge.
Wait, I have one more question related to
Sure.
this. For the illusion magic, would I know what kind of components it would require?
That would be an Arcana check.
Ooh, 13.
So thinking back, you know that this is a spell that's being used is not technically a single spell. because of that, you can't remember these specific components. You do know it is a very difficult spell to cast that requires concentration to keep it up. They're not casting the spell over and over again. This is one long sustained cast.
Okay.
And getting it to work again is not a single action type spell. This is one that takes time to cast, at least a minute or to 10 minutes. You're not sure how long, but interrupting it will give you guys some leeway.
Time.
I guess I'll fire my short bow twice into the Woven Storm, see what happens.
Okay. Choose 1, 2, 3, or 4.
3.
Okay. One more time.
2.
All right. So as you pull your bow and just start firing arrows off, you hear them just go into nothingness.
After hearing Vala explanation, I'm going to cast the invisibility.
Okay. What's the range that you can see? Is it just your visual range?
Yeah, so however far for the daylight spell.
Okay. Yeah. As you look around, make me a perception check.
Oh, this will go well. With disadvantage, it's normal.
Just normal. You have the daylight surrounding you. It's pretty easy to see.
So it's 18 minus 2, 16.
Looking around, you don't see anything visible.
All right, well, I have it for an hour.
Commander?
I'm not really sure. No, I'm kind of just still trying to get the lay of the land. So I'm gonna I have my gun out, and I am just holding my attack in case something comes near me.
Okay. Where you are right now, to kind of give you the lay of the land, there are. It's a relatively heavily wooded area. Vala's sword is shedding bright light, so it's basically daylight for 60 feet in every direction, and then another. Is it 60 or the 30 feet?
I believe it is 60 feet of dim light beyond that.
So you have 240 foot sphere, basically originating, or 120 foot radius sphere radiating from Vala that makes it fairly easy to see around you. Obviously, there's trees you can dive behind. There are swampy areas where the water can get up to about waist high. With the water being dark enough that if you submerge yourself, you break line of sight. And then various underbrush, bushes with brambles in them, things like that. So, if any of that inspires you to try something different, what you know right now is there is a creature out there, but beyond your line of sight, that is using a spell to attack you guys.
I could make someone invisible.
Could I actually dive in the water? Or
If
submerge?
you like to, yeah.
Yeah, so I can breathe underwater.
So Nameless just goes, woohoo!
Henri had that problem, so I fixed it.
We can make him better. We have the technology. I mean, if we want to leave somebody behind, and I'll like kind of quietly so we can't be overheard, say if somebody wants to stay behind, I can make somebody invisible. We can continue on, and then they can try to sneak up on them. I mean, she disappeared again.
She's good at that.
The only other thing, if I knew something that they had on them, I could locate them within 1,000 feet. But I don't know if it would need that spell.
It's up to you guys. I'm in the water.
Yeah.
I'm home.
What do you guys want to do? I'm lost right now.
Well, everybody is. I will deactivated my right and activated my right dog.
Sir, what are you activating?
Well, everybody is. I've deactivated my flame.
Okay.
And activated my radiant.
Oh, okay. I thought. So I misunderstood. I thought you had the radiance before. Now you have. Now you have a lightsaber instead of a fire blade.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I already marked off the time.
Got it. So, what do you guys want to do? You can push forward. Obviously, one of you has decided to dive and kind of hunker down. What do the rest of you want to do? Time is ticking by. You guys can feel the creatures getting close enough to it to attack again.
I don't like it, but maybe there is something in there. Changing time is funny. I don't know. But if the one vampire is doing it, maybe it's better to try to find out.
Well, our first thing to do is break her concentration.
Yeah.
For that, we need to find her. I'll hand my sword to Argenta and say, you guys go on, and I will cast invisibility and hide somewhere.
Does this sound good to everyone else? You're gonna go?
Well, isn't daylight concentration?
Nope.
Okay.
It's gonna be my next question as she winked out of existence, and so did the light.
Does the water I'm hiding in, does it follow parallel with them, or do I have to get out to continue with them?
But because you're underwater, you would actually be slower than they would. And you're in basically a pool. It's not really a river, so. If you want to remain hidden, you gotta stay where you are.
Sure, so seeing as how I would technically be able to see Vala, I'll stay back with Vala in the water.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
In Vampire, I just say, what do you want, as I'm like holding the sword and keep going.
Oh yeah, you speak vampire. So you would have understood the naughty word they said when Vala activated the daylight.
I would have killed Light, by the way, when I dove in the water.
Okay. Probably is a smart move. So for first things first, nameless. Choose even or odd.
Well, seeing as how odd number almost killed us, even.
All right. Argenta Lilian Commander, I need the deck saves as you guys push through the forest again. Since you're not double timing it, no. Just straight rolls.
Sweet.
That boy.
Argenta
15.
Lilian
18.
Commander.
23.
Commander, you did a dodge completely. Lilian and Argenta, you take 7 slashing damage. Two more of these creatures just barely graze you. Vala, you are no longer in the bright light. You're just barely at the edge of the dim light. And as you look around, everywhere outside the dim light is not just dark. It is shadowy. It's almost as if the darkness itself has a weight or a presence. The same goes for you. Nameless. The only difference being, in order to be invisible to them, you have to be underwater, which makes it significantly harder for you to see anything. So you can see up, but as far as seeing laterally, the edges of the pool break the line of sight.
I pretty much wouldn't pop my head up unless I heard sounds of like fighting.
Okay. So Vala, seeing the darkness being so physical, how do you want to try and find this vampire? You can physically look for them by sight. You can try to kind of guess where they would be based on your knowledge of magic and how spells work. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I would try to see, like, does it seem like the darkness is coming from a point, or is it uniform?
Okay. Make me an investigation check.
Okay. 9.
Looking around, it does seem to be kind of radiating, but it's just so intense right now. You can't really tell the exact point it's radiating from. But you're fairly certain that the darkness is coming from a singular point.
I just can't. Do I get like a? It's not east or west.
It's the direction you guys are running from is the direction it's coming from.
Okay.
But that's
then
still a wide, you know, it's the north part of the world. So
I've narrowed it down.
Can I try my ability to try and track them?
Remind me what that ability does again?
It gives me advantage on survival tests to track faces or death. Or intelligence checks to recover information about them.
Well, The only issue would be the vampire is pretty far away from you. So if you tried to track them, it would be disadvantage, and then that would give you an advantage. So it'd be a flat roll, but you can do that.
Oh, try
Go for it.
that. 12.
Looking around again, you get the rough idea of the direction it's in, but as far as actually seeing the creature or figuring out specifically, not yet. It's narrowed down your search field.
Alright.
Anyone else?
Could I just poke my head out just so it's like just my eyes are out of the water so I can kind of see what's going on?
Sure. Anything you want to do with your eyes out?
Just locate where Vala is since I can see her, and then just kind of keep my focus in that direction.
So Vala right now is about 60 feet away from you, and you can see her just kind of searching around.
I'm technically invisible.
He has to see invisibility.
Never mind.
I was actually right about to say Vala is kind of strange because she's somewhat translucent to you, but has that kind of 80s neon outline in your mind.
It's like a scene out of Predator. It's just what I'm getting. Like Arnold.
I was thinking more along the lines of Xanadu, but whatever 80s movie you like. So yeah, you can see Vala. The rest of the group, you can see shadows silhouetted against a very bright light. But the daylight is bright enough that you can't actually see them clearly because you have to squint. Anyone want to do anything else before going to the next round of this?
I'm just keeping my eyes peeled
Good.
for the darkness.
I guess my magic missile at the darkness.
I was gonna try primeval awareness, but it just tells me if things are in the area and it doesn't like actually ping them. So.
Well, if you want to make sure. However, I believe it's just planar entities, isn't it, or is it more things? Oh no! You can. It's yeah.
Yeah.
There's too many versions of that. Cool. Go ahead and do you guys want to keep running? Do you want to stop and wait for Vala? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna keep moving.
Okay. Lillian, Commander, you're gonna go with Argenta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Then give me some more survival checks as you continue to go. I need another even or odd nameless.
Odd.
All right. Argenta, Lillian, Commander, your survival checks.
16.
Just for flat rolls.
14.
21.
All right, but between the three of you guys, because you now kind of know what you're trying to do, you're getting better at choosing paths that you think in order for this creature to follow you is going to make them easier to find. You're intentionally going through more water-filled areas to hopefully have her displace the water when she follows you. The things like that. Vala, you're eventually going to be outside of the bright light. Are you going to follow just outside? Are you going to try, or dim light? I mean, are you going to follow just outside the dim light? Do you want to stay in the dim light?
I want to get, I think, just outside the dim light. I have dark vision.
Okay.
So
you'll follow then. And then Nameless, they're going to pretty quickly here start getting well out of range for you. Do you want to stay in the water, or do you want to try and follow them in the darkness?
Since I still have see invisibility up, I'll just kind of stay like, I don't know, 40 to 60 feet in a direction from Vala and just follow through that.
All right, Argenta, Liliane, and then Nameless and Commander, I need the deck saves.
I like physical dice.
All right, Argenta.
14.
Okay, Liliane.
16.
And then Nameless.
Let me double check. Yeah, +1, so 19.
Okay, and Commander.
These are straight roll, right?
Yep.
Very cool. 21.
Commander, you are missed yet again. Liliane and Nameless, you guys take 11 piercing damage. Argenta, you take 23 piercing damage.
Question: how far away am I from Liliane?
At this point, you're well over 100 feet, closer to around to 200 now.
And it's hitting all of us still?
It hits you at different times.
Gotcha. Okay. Do I see this darkness that Vala was seeing? That's like moving.
Yeah. As soon as you're out of the area, again, it's not just dark around you. It is shadowy, like someone has cast a darkness spell that's not quite working perfectly. Like there's literal, like physical shadows that are kind of weaving in and out of the darkness.
Do I get kind of an idea, like, how far away that is from me and Vala currently?
You can make an investigation check to try and figure that out. Vala, you can do investigation again, or you can try a different method if you want to figure out where she is. You'll have advantage on an investigation check.
I'll try investigation again.
Okay.
It was a natural 20, but it comes to 19.
Still to the 20.
Real 20 hates me. But
so I could use my inspiration with this as well, right? Or no?
Sure. Inspiration on any die roll.
Okay. So it was a 4, 8, and a 15. So the a total of 20.
20. Okay. Between the two of you, you guys start kind of looking for where this darkness is the thickest, and you've basically pinned it down to about a 10-foot square. Somewhere in there is this vampire, or is this someone using the vampire magic?
May I cast a spell?
Sure.
I would like to cast Fairy Fire.
Okay. What's your spell save DC?
That is 17.
I don't think she can have Well, no. Yeah. As you sit there, and these, do you have a color preference?
Violet, please.
As these violet flames shoot from your fingertips, they go and they coalesce in about a 10-foot area, and suddenly you see a shape in there as the fire dances. Your invisibility drops simultaneously, and you can see inside the darkness a kind of lithe figure wearing, you would assume, robes, something long and flowing, and you suddenly see the flames kind of coalesce around this shape.
Yes. Can I use my bonus action to yell, "Hey, you guys"?
Oh
Sure.
my god.
Jody,
Yeah.
when Violet cast Fairy Fire, how far away did I see the figure get from me get lit up?
Let's say 60 feet to keep it simple for me.
Would I be able to move forward a little bit and then cast a spell?
Sure.
Because I wanted to move forward closer to it, about 30 feet, and do Cone of Cold in that direction.
That's not very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your spell save DC?
17. It's a Constitution save.
I rolled a 5 on the dice. Luckily enough, she has a 42 con save.
Oh. I got to.
Go ahead and roll your damage. So as this is happening, you guys hear, hey, you guys. You all, Argenta, Liliana, and Commander, you all turn around to see a figure kind of wreathed in these violet flames, flips off of Vala, whom you can't really see, but you just kind of know that's who she's flipping off. As that happens, you hear this burst of wind from another direction, and you see chunks of ice and things like that just start flying somewhat towards you guys, but you're far enough back that it doesn't hit you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how much did you do?
I have to re-add because my internet, I cut out and I was like, what the heck? 10, 20, 32, 40, 47. Cold.
Cool. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say she can't tank a, let's see, for 47, that would be a 20...
4, 23.
Yeah, 23 concentration check. Let's just see. Well, that's a 9.
Ooh.
So the shadows that had been harassing you guys fade. And now you guys can see her much more clearly now that the sky is no longer being artificially darkened, and she's kind of glowing now. However, Argenta, Lilian, and Commander, you guys are about 120 feet away from her. She was literally right on the edge of that light area. So, do you guys want to do anything right now? You basically have a turn to do something before she can react.
I would like to shoot her.
Okay.
And Fairy Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Advantage. Now, I can't remember the short and long range on the
It's 100 and 400.
Okay, so if you move up, she'll be in close range.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll move up to 20 or 30 feet. I need to.
Go for it.
And so with Fairy Fire, it's advantage?
Yes.
Sweet, because I'm doing everything sharpshooter then.
Okay.
Alright, first shot is a natural 17.
Oh,
So-
definitely hits.
Okay. Oh, wait, hang on. Minus the 5.
Oh, this is still hits. This is 17
Oh, okay.
hits.
Oh, okay, cool. First one is 17 points of damage. Second one, same thing twice. 22. Oh wait, -5. 17 again.
Okay.
Ooh. 25 points of damage.
All right, so you sit there, you spin, fire off to two shots from your from the Fury. They strike her, but they don't seem to carry as much weight as you think they should. They still hit her. Argenta, Liliane?
I'll move 45 feet closer, and while I'm doing that, I'm chugging a healing potion.
Okay.
Mm.
Anything else?
No.
All right, Liliane?
How far away is he?
120 feet.
I will move back from the die.
She guys watches Liliane just holding her longsword rushes at her. As she sees that she's basically surrounded, she looks at you, Vala, gives you this look that if looks could kill, like your grandkids would be dead. Just the most piercing and poisonous look you've ever gotten. She says a few words in a vampire dialect that you don't recognize, and then she waves her hands. Or no, she doesn't. You hear her say a word you do recognize, and she bloop vanishes.
Am I within 60? Or counterspell is what I'm asking.
Yeah, you were within 30.
I would get counterspell ready the second she was preparing anything. If I could see her casting. I think that's how counterspell works.
Yeah. So she begins to cast this spell. You start to counterspell. She flicks her hand in your direction, and everything just ends as she counterspelled your counterspell.
It's like a bunch of blue magic decks just competing.
Yeah, it's like I reverse. Here's a counterspell. Well, here's an interrupt. I don't play enough blue. I was a Boros deck player. I made lots of things and then threw them at you with fireballs.
Can my cutting words attempt to make it harder for her to cast counterspell or no?
No, it'll only it only affects rolls, and none of those were rolls.
Okay.
If they'd been higher levels of spells, there would have been rolls involved, but third level spells are just instant counters.
Got it. Okay.
And Dimension Door, I believe, is only 6 seconds.
But she's still glowing wherever she went.
Yeah, but she went for 500 feet in a random direction in heavy forest. Even glowing, you can't see her anymore.
I mean, I can pick a random direction, but I don't know what she casts, so.
Wait. I was within 30 feet of her, right? Did I get a good look at her robes?
You were within 60 feet.
Damn. All right.
There's also the issue that you can dimension dorm multiple times. So if you guys want to try and track her, you're welcome to.
I mean,
But after what she said to you, which again, you don't speak the language, but you know what she said to you.
I think at this point Vala is quite fluent in being told off.
You did recognize, like you know a few curses in the vampire. The language she spoke is not the vampiric that you know, and there were more than curses in there. Like whatever she said, it was obviously very personal.
Got it. She didn't have any like tattoos or markings or anything. House symbol.
No, not really. She actually wasn't even like. Generally, the vampires are decked out to the nines when they're out of the citadels, and even in the citadels when they're not trying to oppress each other, which doesn't happen often. They tend to wear stuff like, but bare minimum, they like their house sigils, and they will have rings and pendants and even earrings. Sometimes even face makeup with their sigils on it. It's a big deal. She had nothing. There was no makeup on her face. Not even like lipstick or eyeliner that you could see. Her robe was a dress. And it was pure black. There was no trim on it. There were no seams you could see. There was no embroidery. You've never seen a vampire dress so plain.
I will take a moment to try to burn into my mind every detail I can about her.
Okay. Roll me a flattened intelligence check.
16.
Yeah, you've got her. If there were tags on it, you could tell the designer.
Perfect. Okay.
I'll walk up to Vala and just be like, I think we should just catch up to them.
Yeah, we should go while we still can. And we would join the others.
As you guys do, listening more, you're not hearing wolf calls.
Argenta, if I could have my sword back, please.
Yeah, I'll hand her her sword.
Yep.
Let's get this the last.
Yes.
As you guys kind of reorient yourselves, and someone gets a high enough vantage point to see where you are, it looks like you still have maybe about an hour of travel. You're about maybe a mile away-ish. So
I will sheath my sword and leave like just a little crack out.
Mhm.
Give a little bit of light for some time.
Alright, I'll lead the way.
that's no wolf. It's a really aggressive owl. As you guys, it keeps asking how many licks it takes to get to the center of it, get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop.
It just bites like an a-hole.
As you guys go, not a whole lot else happens, which kind of fits with your memories of leaving. The area around the lair before was pretty devoid of aggressive life before. And as you guys reach the place, you're able to get in and are welcomed by at the time when you get there, the doors are shut because it's in the nighttime. And as you open the doors, that is where we will pick up next time. So thank you guys for everyone to show up who watched. If you missed any of the episode, I upload all these to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody. If you're watching on YouTube, please come join us for the show live. We play the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month at twitch.tv/TrainerJody. And we start at 9 p.m. Central time. Otherwise, that's all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.